A very good morning, class 9th. I hope all of you are doing fine and healthy at your home or at your place. So, class 9th, in today's session, we will be beginning with the third chapter of political science, which is electoral politics. And in this chapter, we will be dealing how does the elections take place. We know that democracy is the most important part of our country. Without democracy, our country does not exist. And the most common feature of democracy is the elections, and it is through the elections that we select the government, we select our representatives. So the representatives plays a major role in our life. They work for us, for our wellness, betterment, as well as for the country. And in this chapter, we are going to understand about the electoral competition among parties. We know that during the elections, lots and lots of parties take place and win or lose, and we select our representative. So we can say that it is through elections we can distinguish between democratic countries and non-democratic countries. And we know that in our democratic countries, free and fair elections held, whereas in a non-democratic countries, no elections take place. Okay. So in this chapter, we will try to understand the elections in India, and we will look how does the election take place, what are the different ways through which the elections take place, and what happens in the elections when one win or loses. Every single thing we will be reading in this chapter. We will be also studying the role of election commission in our country. What role does the election commission plays in our country? And for today we will be studying why election, and we will start with a case study of a Haryana. So now let's begin. So class, why election? Assembly election in Haryana. So we can see that in page number 35 there is a clipping of a newspaper in Haryana, that there is a time in the midnight and expected crowd sitting for the past 5 hours in a chalk of the town and is waiting for their leader to come. So class, what is happening here? We know that when the leader is going to come, lots and lots of people gather together and they wait for the leader to come. So similarly, we can see here in the headlines also that lots of people are sitting here, and they are sitting here from past 5 hours in the chalk as they are waiting for their leader to come. Now the organizers assure and reasons that the crowd would be here any moment, that now they are waiting, like they are waiting from past 5 hours and they are waiting for their leaders. Now the organizers of the rallies, or you can say meeting, they are assuring the crowd that the leader will come in any moment, but the leader will come. So whenever any vehicle pass by, they hope might be our leader is coming, oh our leader is here. So they are having our hopes, and because they are sitting here from past 5 hours, they are just hoping, come, please come. Whenever the vehicle comes, they hope with this. And the leader, the name of the leader is Mr. Devilal, and he is the Haryana Sangrash Samiti, and he is the leader, and the name is the Devilal, Mr. Devilal, and he is the leader, and he is going to address a meeting in Karnal, which is there in Haryana. And he's 76 years old, and he's very busy these days because elections are going to come. And we know that during elections the leaders takes lots and lots of meetings, they take rallies, they take competitions, so they distribute many things, they give speeches. So for all these things they need time, so he's being very very busy, and he's 76 years old leader, and he's being very busy. And his day start in the 8 a.m. in the morning and end at 11 p.m. So he's working more than 14 hours a day. So you can see that how much busy he is, and he has already addressed 9 elections meetings since morning. So he's been addressing various election meetings since morning, and he is doing this public meetings for the past 23 months, and he's preparing for the elections. So class, we know that elections held after every 5 years, and he has prepared for the elections from past 23 months. So he's been doing this since a long time, and he's already met lots and lots of people. So now this was the report about the newspaper about the state assembly that is going to happen in Haryana in the year 1987, and during that time the state was ruled by the Congress. Okay, so during that time the Congress was ruling that state, and it was done since 1982. Now Chaudhry Devi Lal, then an opponent leader, led a movement called Navya Youth Struggle for Justice. So he was the leader of the opposition. One we have Congress, another political we have an opposition called Navya Youth. Okay, so another political party, and he formed a new party also. He left his party in order to form a new party which was called as Lok Dal. So the name of his party was Lok Dal. So this is again the next party we are going to discuss, and his party joined other opposition parties to form a front against the Congress. So class, we have many political parties contesting elections. So in order to defeat Congress, there were many parties that were formed in order to defeat the Congress in the elections. Now in the elections campaigning, we know that during elections the leaders, the oppositions who all are standing in the elections campaigning from one place to another, from one door to another, so to make people aware that when we are going to win, we are going to help, we are going to do this thing. So similarly was done by the Lok Dal party also, since they were campaigning for the elections, and they told them that if their party wins the election, if the Lok Dal party wins the election, they would waive off the loans of the farmers and the small businessmen. All the farmers who have taken loans from the government for any reason, like for plants, for crops, for then your tractors, for any single thing, they will waive off, in the sense they will end that loan, and the same will be done for the small businessmen who have taken the loan from the government. He has made this promise to his people, and he said that if our party wins, we will waive off the loan, and this will be the first action if their government will be formed. So class, now people were so much astonished, they were amazed that yes, he might do something, so they were having huge hopes. Now the people were not happy with the existing government. The people were not happy because they were not able to fulfill their promises. So the people were not happy with the existing government, and they were attracted by the Devi Lal promises, that whatever promises he has done, people were so much happy and they were looking forward to win him. Okay, they were looking forward to vote for him, because all those promises that he was doing was for their betterment and for their own wellness. So they voted for Lok Dal, and at the end we can see that Lok Dal won 76 seats out of 90, so they have won the majority. So you can see that out of 90 they have won with the 76 seats in the state assembly. Now Lok Dal alone won 60 seats, so you can see that about 90 from 90, 60 seats were won by Lok Dal, and they were having a clear chance in the assembly of majority, since majority of the seats were won by the Lok Dal. So they are going to form the government because they won in the majority. Out of 90 seats they won 76, and the single party that won 60 seats was your Lok Dal. Okay, so they have won with the majority, the Lok Dal won with the majority, and they are going to form assembly in their government. So they are going to form the government, and the Congress was able to win only 5 seats. Since the people were not happy with the Congress, so they did not much vote, they don't vote for them, and Congress was able to win hardly 5 seats. Once the elections were declared, the sitting chief minister resigned. So now class, the result was declared, and the chief minister, who was the chief minister during that time, did not belong to the Lok Dal party, and he has to resign because he know that he has lost. Now the newly elected members of Legislative Assembly, MLAs, are called as the newly elective Legislative Assembly members. They are the newly, MLA means your members of Legislative Assembly, and they were all of Lokdal, and Devi Lal was chosen as their leader. So class, how many MLAs won? All the MLAs vote for their leader, and since they know that the next chief minister was going to be Devi Lal, they have chosen Devi Lal for the next chief minister as their leader, because people were motivated for him, they were happy with him, and they wanted to see him as the leader. Now class, Devi Lal became the leader, and the government invited him to give the speech. So he has to take the oath, and he has become the chief minister of Haryana. And the first thing he did was to waive off the loans. Whatever promises he did to waiving off the loan, he waived off his loan. He was of his words, and that was the reason people voted for him, that they wanted that yes, our chief minister should be doing something for us. So he did for them. Now class, the party ruled there for the next 4 years. So you can say that we know that elections take place after 5 years. So the party ruled for next 4 years, and the next elections were held in the year 1991. But this time his party did not win, and because he was not popular and people did not support, so they were happy with the Congress. They were looking forward to change the government because their representatives was not working for their welfare, and they decided to give a chance to the Congress, and the Congress won in the elections, and they formed the government. So you can see that how free and fair way does the elections take place in India, and it is through the people's participation the elections take place. Since you can see in this case, earlier they were not happy with the Congress, so nobody of them voted for Congress. They voted for another party. The party did quite well, but again the people were not happy with him, so they changed the representative. They gave chance to the another representatives, and every single thing was done with a free and fair manner. So this was why do we need elections, and this was the reason. In order to form a free government, in order to form a government who is working for the welfare of the country, we need elections. Okay, so class, please make sure to read the page number 35 of your political science book of chapter number 3, Electoral Politics. Okay, and submit the work on time. Thank you.